I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we dive into the thrilling world of a remarkable book. It is called The Return, the Dark Stalker Journal. It's written by an amazing author. His name is Byron Morrison. Today, we will journey into a realm where Area 51 is just the beginning, and mystical energies unleash chaos across the globe. Join us as we explore Maximus Jordan's quest to uncover his true identity and save humanity from an impending nightmare. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Bookside Press for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Byron, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
This is such a unique world you have created, blending elements of fantasy and sci-fi, some characters that we kind of know from perhaps other creations, but a whole new twist on them. How did you come up with the idea for this story?
Well, the idea came from two things. One, the setting is in my hometown, Reading, Pennsylvania. And a friend of mine and I used to read the same type of books. And she'd always ask me, what did I think about it? And I'd say, well, it was a good book, but they should have expounded on this more. They should have backed off on this a little bit. And finally, she got tired of it and said, why don't you write your own book? So I did.
That's great. That's great. So you were looking at other sci-fi and fantasy, and you saw where it fell short, and you decided to create your own world, and you did. Is this your first book?
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it
Okay,
is.
awesome. Feels like sequels are coming to this. It sounds like it's the beginning of a series.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're
Yes.
looking forward to that. Let's talk a little bit about the concept of nether space. I found that very intriguing.
Okay, well, Nether space is basically just it's mystery space. That way, when I pull things out and throw things into the story, I like to keep as scientific as possible, but where the science fails, Nether space.
Very, very cool. It's a cool device and it gives you a lot of freedom in the creation process. Tell me a little bit about Maximus Jordan, what makes him unique.
Well, Maximus Jordan, what people find out later is his family was engineered, I'll say, not necessarily genetically engineered, but certain people and certain genes were pushed together so that they would have a certain impact or and then and strengthen their humanity so that the end result would be Max, who could take on the power that he has.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Max is a cool character. If you were creating a movie, besides me and besides you, who would play Maximus Jordan?
Oh, I've wondered about that. My first go-to would be Denzel Washington, but
Yeah.
he's getting up there in age.
That's the thing. We need a young Denzel Washington,
Yes,
somebody
we
who's
do.
like cool and calm and like really badass.
Yes.
But yeah, he's getting up there in the years. So maybe we can use like AI effects to make a young
Yeah.
Denzel or something.
Well, Denzel in uh, Ezekiel
Yep.
would be perfect.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, it would
Yeah.
be a great movie, that's for sure. So you have kind of fantasized about this perhaps one day winding up on the big screen.
Oh, of course, of course. What writer hasn't?
Exactly, exactly. It would be awesome. And you have created a unique world. So I think Hollywood, if you're listening, this would be a great film. Tell me a little bit about the Dark Stalkers and their role that they play in maintaining the balance in the story's world.
Well, Dark Stalkers are basically a secret police. Uh, the supernatural, the wolves, werewolves, witches, warlocks, all that stuff, they exist. And the upper echelon of the governments, they wanted to eradicate them, but knew they couldn't without mass casualties. So they made an accord and said, you guys can live among humans if you can, without hurting anybody. But if you do something as small as steal a piece of bubble gum, we're sending the Dark Stalkers after you. And there is only one punishment, and that's death.
We get some dark stalkers dispatched to New York, Chicago, LA, and San Francisco, because
Yep.
I think we need a little justice at this point. I
Yes,
think
but that's not supernatural.
that's true. That's true. That's I don't want to confuse our worlds here, but yeah, it feels like they're needed right now, which is what's fun about reading the book is you're
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, we need a hero like Max. Yeah, we need dark stalkers. Yeah, without a doubt. Tell me a little bit about setting the story in Reading, Pennsylvania. That's your hometown. So
Right.
was that a natural fit because you know it so well? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the reason why I said it in Reading, Pennsylvania, obviously I know Reading, but I'm a traveled person, so there's a lot of places I know. But the closest that movies have come to using a setting in Pennsylvania is Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And I thought, you know what, Philly is only about an hour away. So why not bring something here? Because really, if you want to keep something secret, put it in a town that nobody really, it's known, but it's not big. So
Right.
let's put it here.
It's cool. I mean, I've heard of Reading, Pennsylvania, pretty much, I think, because of the Reading Railroad. Isn't there like
Yes,
a famous
yes,
railroad line that goes through Reading?
yes.
But I've never been there, so I gotta have to put it on my bucket list now that you've put it on the map for me for sure. Let's talk about some of the traditional characters that you put in your book that have a whole different twist to them. I'm talking about witches, vampires, and lycanthropes.
Okay, well, witches, witches. I'll contrast witches and warlocks. Witches and warlocks. Well, witches hate warlocks. Warlocks love witches because warlocks steal the witches' power, their
Mm,
base power, not all their other stuff, but their main power that makes them witches.
right.
But the only way that they can steal them is by killing the witch.
Mm,
So the witches don't like them very much, but warlocks love them. And then there's psionicis, which basically are people who affect things with their minds.
mm,
Your telepaths, your telekinetics, stuff like that. Um, Witches, warlocks, and then you have your vampires, of course.
mhm.
And in this world, the vampires have somehow gotten out of that treaty to they can do whatever they want. They still get hunted down, but they don't have that accord with humanity. And of course, there's the lycanthropes, the werewolves, the were bears, the were everything. They're in there too, and they're causing some trouble.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the different spin on all of these traditional characters for sure. Tell us a little bit about the demon of great power.
Demon of great power. That is that is comes later in the story. He's not really a demon, but everybody the legends say he's a demon. But the elves, which exist in my world again, the elves know who he really is and what he really is, and they know he's not one to be let loose.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's one to be contained, that's for sure.
Yes,
I
yes,
like the backstory on Maximus, including the death of his family and the broken
right.
relationship. Tell us a little bit why you included these elements and how they make him an interesting character.
Well, you have to give somebody a drive to do what they do, and Max lost his family because of this preternatural world. And so with that, he was geared towards, okay, I got to make sure this doesn't happen again. And he gets into a relationship with another preternatural, basically a psionicist. And with that, he wasn't able to give his full attention to. So that relationship kind of broke up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's still, but I mean, though that broke up, he's still driving towards, okay, I got to make sure this bad thing doesn't happen to other people ever again.
Exactly, exactly. It makes him very real. The fact that he's having troubles in the relationship and his death of his family, it all makes him relatable. It also just makes him, although he seems beyond human, kind of human as well, which
Right,
is,
right.
I think, is a great part of the story. So where do you go from here? We touched upon it briefly that you might put together a sequel. Tell us a little bit about your plans about developing the story and what characters will return and which characters might not return. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's one thing. Uh, I'll I'll say Max is going to return definitely, but I can't guarantee anybody else.
Okay.
And that whole demon, he's he's in the background just plotting and scheming to do his thing. So yeah, he's
Okay,
coming.
cool. Story could go anywhere then. You obviously love sci-fi, you love fantasy. It must have been fun creating this world,
Oh
living
yes.
in that world and putting it down on the pages and then sharing it with others, right?
Yes. Oh my. I have a whole lot of craziness going on in there. I put it on paper and I just let people read it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it's great stuff. The name of the book is The Return, The Dark Stalker Journal. It's written by Byron Morrison. And in the book, you will journey to a realm where Area 51 is just the beginning and mystical energies unleash chaos across the globe. It is amazing, and so is his character, Maximus Jordan, and his quest to uncover his true identity and save humanity. A wonderful story, a wonderful world, a wonderful book, and eventually this will be a wonderful series. Byron, thank
I
you so much for
yes.
joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you very much for having me.
I appreciate your time, sir. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time, until next time on Spotlight.